can see we are fully packed, but that shows the interest and the partnership which we have with all of you. And we want to work with you, especially today when we are talking about a very important day in the UN events calendar every year annually. The Women's Day is a very, very important one, and I'm glad I'm seeing my team from the fourth stage. It's nice to see you. It's wonderful to see you, and I can see you also can see that we've got a whole team of directors, acting directors, deputy directors within our ministry. So the 8th of March 2024, on this particular day, Zimbabwe will join the rest of the world to commemorate the International Women's Day. It is a day set aside to celebrate the economic, political, and social achievements of women and girls, their courage and significant determination in contributing to the country's development. The International Women's Day is a United Nations calendar event which is celebrated every year on the 8th of March in all nations of the United Nations. In Zimbabwe, tomorrow will join the rest of the world in celebrating this event. It is a day also to reflect on and track the progress made in the advancement of women empowerment agenda across spaces, with particular focus on investing, budgeting, and accelerating the women agenda as the core mandate for this year, 2024. This year's national commemorations will be held under the theme, and I've quote, "Invest in women, accelerate progress," unquote. This speaks to the need to advance women empowerment across all spaces, as I mentioned earlier on. The international theme resonates well with challenges that women face in achieving gender equality. Today, we recognize the achievements and roles played by women and the remarkable progress we have made in advancing gender equality. Women around the world have shattered glass ceilings, broken barriers, and proven overwhelmingly that they are capable of achieving greatness in every field. And we can see that in our country, and we've risen as Zimbabweans to celebrate. We've seen for the first time in our country, Attorney General, a woman, Prosecutor General, a woman. This gives us a great pleasure to say there are women who are getting right at the top of the decision making in our country. So their contributions to society, culture, science, politics, and the economy are invaluable. And we are all here, we've seen, even coming from the academia, and we welcome you because we want to work with you. We need to do research and development. We need to understand the policies which we are putting into place. Are they really active? Are they making us succeed? So this is important. We want to work with all of you. And yet, with all that effort which we've done as stakeholders, we still have a lot to do together. Yes, we have those achievements, but it's still a long way to go in ensuring factual equality for all. If we work collectively, which is very important, as a people, we can achieve this by accelerating progress in investing in women. And I've been saying this again and again, that the issues of women empowerment, the issues of advancing gender equality in our country is just not a human rights issue. It is an economic development issue. So there's need to employ a variety of approaches to address the various challenges faced by our women, which include financial inclusion, which is very critical, equal access to health services. If you are not healthy, you can't do much. Quality education for our girl child, because we want them to compete equally with their boy child. And we also come in as a ministry in skills training, extensive agricultural extension services. We know we have got agri-techs there. Workplace training, which is very critical. If you want them to really produce adequately and realize our vision 2030, there's need for training. And also training in new technologies. We know that we have embraced digital era, and we need to train our women to understand how to use their smartphones, to do business online, to be able to do their banking. That kind of training needs to be really scaled up. So women's economic participation and their ownership and control of productive assets, that will make us speed up development in this country. And it will help us overcome poverty, reducing inequalities. It will help us reduce maternal and infant mortality and improves children's nutrition, health, and school attendance. When a woman has equal access to education, employment, and financial resources, then the economy thrives. So when we talk about, once again, when we talk about women empowerment and the empowerment of girls, we are taking our men on board, because this is not an issue of displacing men, but we are saying we can't leave behind 52% of the population. We need to move together to achieve the Zimbabwe we all want. My ministry has put in place a number of programs to ensure that women effectively participate in those sectors I talked about: agriculture, mining, tourism, trade, manufacturing, and other sectors. These are being implemented in line with the gender policy and the broad-based women economic empowerment framework, which calls for the participation of women in key economic sectors. And the good thing about it is government has called for devolution. In the spirit of devolution, we are actually saying Zimbabweans, wherever they are, they should actively participate in the economic activities within their local communities. So my ministry provides tailor-made and affordable loans to women and girls for the purpose of funding income-generating projects. It starts even from the grassroots all the way to the top. The loans are accessed through Women Development Fund, the Zimbabwe Community Development Fund, and the Zimbabwe Women Microfinance Bank. Also, the SMEDCO is there, the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Corporation, all there to support entrepreneurs, inclusive of women in business. As the minister, I call upon stakeholders to collectively work together in women and invest for the empowerment of women. Let us be bold and be gender responsive in our approach as we invest in economically and socially inclusive systems. We need efficient systems so that we have efficient services and sustainable infrastructure to accelerate the empowerment of women and girls. Poverty alleviation and provision of social services to women and our girls require a multifaceted approach. We can't do it alone. This is why we work with our development partners. We work with our CSOs, because together we work with everyone, the chiefs. You saw me the other day, interacting with our chiefs, looking at the case management systems in our courts, in our chiefs' courts, so that at least we give space for women and girls to be able to express themselves. It's only when we give everybody an opportunity to express themselves that we achieve the harmony and we remove the discord among ourselves as a society. So we therefore need to collaborate in investing in women in order to meet the Vision 2030. That's critical. The story of the women's struggle for equality belongs to no single feminist, nor to anyone, one organization, but it is actually everybody's responsibility. Let me conclude, ladies and gentlemen, by informing you all who are here that the nation at large, and also the nation at large, that this year's national celebrations will be launched on the 8th of March, that is tomorrow, 2024, at Chitora Business Center. This is in Shurugwi District in Midlands Province. Thereafter, the launch, provincial and district celebrations will be organized to highlight and promote the need to accelerate progress in investing in women. I therefore invite all Zimbabweans from all walks of life to be part of these commemorations. It is our day, and let's celebrate it. Let's talk stock. That way we can achieve the Zimbabwe we want. I thank you all for attending. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for this speech. At this moment, I would like to give this opportunity to our members of the media. But before I do that,
Yes.
There was a request from some easy radio that you try to summarize your speech in Shona.
Okay.
so at this moment, I would like to ask the Honorable Minister to just try to summarize a speech in Shona for those from radio that who might need it in vernacular.
Yes.
So,
That's a good one. Tinoda kukutendai mese mauya pano masikati ano paministry yewomen affairs community small and medium enterprises. Ini saminister weministry ino na deputy minister wangu Dr. Jennifer Mhlanga na PS wangu Dr. Mavis Banda nestaff yese ma-CDs yese aripo. Tinokutambira ine mufaro tichitaura kukosha kwezuva ramangwana ra8 March rinove zuva rakatarwa neUnited Nations pasi rino rese kungoti izuva ratinopa tichinyatsotarisa tinoselebrata madzimai zuva rese regore 365 days asi musi wa8 March ndiwo musi wakatarwa neUnited Nations kuti nyika dzese dzepasi ngationei kuti madzimai edu tasvika papi nekuvasimudzira. Ndezvipi zvingada kuti zviitwe kuti gender based violence ipere? Ndezvipi zvingada kuitwa kuti mwanasikana wedu apuwe nguva yakakwana kuti aende kuchikoro varege kuroorwa vari vana vadiki? Ndezvipi mapolicies ataisa kuona kuti zvinhu zvaitwa kuti vafunde vaende kuzvikoro, vadzidziswawo neteknoloji iripo itsva, vagodzidziswawo kuitwa empowered kuti pawanikwa mari here yekuti madzimai edu kubvira pasi pagrassroot vangabatsirwe sei nepfungwa dzavanenge vainadzo kuti vangade kuite business. Nokuti kana isu tine ministry seministry tine maofficers edu kubvira pano panational kusvika pasi paward level 60 districts dzese dzemunyika medu dzine maofficers eministry ino, nokuti president wedu baba Mnangagwa vanoona zvakakosha kusvika pasi pasi. Hatidi panosara nzvimbo inosara, hatidi vanhu vanosara kana tichida kuti tisvike kuvision 2030. Saka takatarisana nebasa guru riri kuitwa nehurumende, tichitarisa basa riri kuitwa nema-development partners, nekuti isu kana tichifamba tinofamba nevatinoti ma-development partners edu. Tine ma-civil society organizations vanoita basa guru rekuona kuti zvatinoita kuti tisimudzire madzimai, kana iri nyaya yekudzikisa mhirizhonga mudzimba, kana iri nyaya yekudzidzisa vanhu kuti regai vanasikana vaende vabudirire vasimudze zvipo zvavakazvarwa nazvo, tinofamba tese. Tine maministry edu, it's a government approach, whole government approach, atinofamba navo kuti tione kuti tingasimudzire sei madzimai. Maprograms anoitwa neministry of agriculture for example, vari kusimudza sei madzimai. Tinawo madzimai vakazara muagriculture, tinawo madzimai nevanasikana vakazara mining, tinawo madzimai vari mumanufacturing vari kuita basa rinoshamisa. Tinoziva kuti ma-SMEs emunyika muno 51% of all those SMEs madzimai. Saka tiri kuvabetsera here, tiri kuvabetsera here nyaya yekuvapa funding. Tinoziva kuti madzimai kana vanasikana vedu vane dambudziko rekuwana zvikwereti. Isu tinoziva kuti nekubudikidza nekwehurumende tinopiwawo tumari twatinopiwa tusingagoni kunyatsokavha nyika yese, asi tinoda kutenda nekuti kana tabatana nema-stakeholders edu yese, ma-development partners edu nema-CSOs, tinogona kuwana kavha nzvimbo yakati kurei. Saka zuva ramangwana tinenge tiripo takaungana senyika, nekuti nyaya dzatiri kutaura dzemadzimai hadzisi dzemadzimai, ndedzemunhu wese. Inyaya dzekubudirira, inyaya dzekuti tisvike pavision 2030 inotaurwa napresident. Iri izuva rekungoti tingofara nemadzishe edu tichifamba nawo. Muri kuona madzishe edu vakutotanga kuita transform ma-court systems avo. Kudhara it was taboo kuona madzimai vari mukoti yamambo kana yaheadman, asi yezvino taakuona kuti madzimambo iwo pachawo nekutarisa kuona kunaka kwakaita kusimudzira munzvimbo kuti vakadzi vanzwe kusununguka pese pavari. Nekuti kana tagona kupa mudzimai yatinoti empowerment, tatokudza mhuri zve. Kana mhuri dzakwira Zimbabwe yatokwira, nyika dzese dzinozviziva zvatiri kuita zvinoitwa kunyika dzese, matambudziko atiri kusangana nawo semadzimai sevanasikana, matambudziko anoonekwa nyika dzese dzepasi pano. Ndosaka United Nations vakauya nezuva iri. Mwedzi wese waMarch tinenge tichicelebrate, mwedzi watinoti Women's Month. Tichaona maactivities akawanda. Tine ma-provincial development coordinators edu, tine ma-district development coordinators edu, muma-districts ese ari 60 kudaro, ma-province edu ari 10 kudaro. Mucharamba muchiona ma-activities ekucelebrata. Saka zuva ramangwana tinenge tiri pachitora business center. Iyi iri kuShurugwi, mudistrict reShurugwi, iri muMidlands province. Saka tiri kukukokai mese, huyai ticelebrate zuva re-International Women's Day, the 8th of March. After that, taparura zuva iri mangwana, muchaona mamwe ma-activities akawanda anenge achiitika muma-wards menyu, muma-districts menyu, muma-provinces menyu, nekuti izuva rinokosha. Vanoziva, ukasimudzira mudzimai, waunza rufaro mumhuri. Ukasimudzira mhuri ine rufaro, waunza rufaro munyika yese yeZimbabwe. Saka kana waunza rufaro, waita kuti tinobudirira pakusimudza ikonomi yenyika yedu. Saka huyai tisangane kuShurugwi mangwana. Mazvita.
Thank you for the speech, Honorable Minister. And before we let you go, Permanent Secretary, Honorable Deputy Minister, please allow me to give this opportunity to members of the media for those who might have questions.
Yeah.
I think they're already passing. I'll start with you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. My name is John Casson once again. 2024 is not an ordinary year as we commemorate this International Women's Day, because it's coming on the backdrop of climate change effects like the Elnino, and specialists or researchers are saying girls and women bear the biggest brunt on the effects of climate change. There will be hunger or maybe increase of numbers of women who may go hungry this year. As the Women Ministry, what is your message to these women who may face this calamity in Zimbabwe this year?
Yes.
You can go ahead.
Yes, Austin once more, freelance journalist. From a scale of 1 to 4, Minister, what are the most challenging things that women are facing in this country? I know it may not be homogeneous, but if you can just tell us in terms of scale 1 to 4.
Okay, anyone else? Oh, thank you.
Minister, yesterday I sat with
You didn't introduce yourself, darling.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm Anna Chibana.
Anna, yeah.
Personal.com.
Yes.
Yesterday I sat with 3 men and we were doing a certain project, but these men, they are all divorced and they talked passionately about gender-based violence, women violating their rights. So as much as women are affected by gender-based violence, we now see more men being violated against their rights by women. What is your ministry doing to make sure that women also know that men they also have rights and need not to be violated?
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? I think it's just the person.
Very good. Thank you very much. Those are very important questions, and I want to thank John. John, you are talking about 2024 not being an ordinary year, and you're true to the fact. I've been traveling across the country. You know, we are in charge of community development and also SMEs. I've crisscrossed. I've gone to Mutare. I've gone to Chiredzi. The other day, I drove from Victoria Falls up to all the way here, and the situation is dire. It is really common knowledge to say that this Elnino induced drought will bring a lot of misery. And we are all aware of the climate change. Climate change affects women and girls disproportionately. And we are saying they are the ones, true to the fact, who bear the biggest brand. We are looking at what government has put into place, and this is obviously they are looking at coming up with mitigating factors. We know that thanks to His Excellency by that Fumvudza in Twasa, we managed to produce what we could say a little reserve. We've got some reserve. We are also aware of the fact that Cabinet is already looking into importing some more maize. And you are aware of the fact that President has put it on record that no one in this country will die of hunger. And climate change, as I said, affects women more and girls more. When you look at it, without water, without rain, it means the women will be traveling long distances to get water. And we have been talking about increasing the number of borehole drillings in our country. We are looking at drilling more than 35,000 boreholes, meaning in every village there should be a borehole, so that at least our women will not have to travel long distances to get water. Sanitation is another issue when there is no water. Diseases is another difficult situation which we'll be faced with. And of course, the biggest one, food insecurity in households. And I'm happy to say the government is up to the challenge. We have already started doing a survey to see how many people will need in terms of food mitigation program. Already the Ministry of Social Welfare, who we work with very closely, because we are concerned and we are part of the committee which goes out there taking the records, registration of families, ward by ward, to make sure that all those who need at least help of whether it's meal, whether it's cooking oil, sugar, things like that. Government has also put aside quite a significant budget, because it's critical for any government to make sure that your people don't die of hunger. And we know it's on record. Our president has said this again and again, that government will never, and it has been proven. Look, we were hit by COVID pandemic, and we saw how our government took it upon themselves to save lives in this country. We were, as a country, we're actually top 7 in the whole world in terms of containing the pandemic of COVID-19. So the issues which are ahead are very clear that a lot of work needs to be done. We'll be working with our development partners, World Food Program. They've already started identifying certain districts where they will be distributing meal. We are also aware of the fact that there is no area where we are going to say, okay, this area will not move into, because all areas have been affected. This Elnino induced drought is very, very serious, but the government is working together with all stakeholders to make sure that we deal with this problem. The grain millers in this country have already started importing maize. We know a lot of maize is being imported into the country as we speak, because we want to work with everybody and to make sure that all our GMBs will have maize, so that our people can have access to the. So, as President said, we are working closely as all ministries to make sure that nobody dies out of hunger. So we are aware of the seriousness of food insecurity in our households this particular year. We are also concentrating on irrigation as a country. More irrigation schemes have got to come up. The Ministry of Agriculture, as I speak, is coming up with a very, very big project to do summer crop, to make sure that we supplement what we have in our reserve, what we'll import, and then this summer crop, which will make sure that we can carry us to the next season. So this is a lot of work which needs everybody to put their shoulders on the wheel. It is not one man's band, but every stakeholder should be involved. We as a ministry, we are particularly interested in disaggregated data in all the programs and projects which are carried out by all ministries, to make sure that if the Ministry of Agriculture is going out there, if registration even of food insecurity, we make sure our staff are there. I told you we've got staff which goes all the way down to the ward level. So they are always there to make sure that no woman is left behind, no elderly women, or no child-headed families are left behind in terms of food mitigation program. Then Costa, and it's good to see you once again. In terms of 1 to 4 scale, I don't know, normally some people say 1 to 10, and yours was 1 to 4. Or you want 4 challenges which women are facing. But let me say clearly the issues which have kept women behind in this country, and this is why we are all very concerned with all our development partners. Gender-based violence is one. And that is a serious, serious challenge. We need to deal with that. I know a lot of effort has been put, but we still have numbers of gender-based violence going high, and that has got to be dealt with. Issues of marrying children at a very tender age, that takes away that talent, because as we are born, whether you are a baby girl or a baby boy, you are born with some kind of talent, and we are saying, and this is why we are involving all stakeholders, chiefs, religious leaders, to say, allow the girl child, the boy child, to really harness that talent so that it will help the development of this country. So we'll continue working with everybody to deal with those issues. Issues of funding. And historically, we know that women have always been left behind. They had no means of production. And this is why the government has come up with the Women Microfinance Bank. This specifically targets women to give, because they don't have access to loans due to the fact that they don't have collateral. So the Women's Microfinance Bank give collateral-free loans, and the percentage of interest rates has to be kept low so that women can actually start these empowerment projects. We are also aware of the fact that they need training, education. We are happy we do have academia within this room. The issue of making sure that our women are educated, so that when we talk of women empowerment, when we talk of gender across all sectors, we want women of. And I'm happy to say this country, starting from 1980, the policies have been put into place to promote the girl child. We know that during Rhodesia, women, during colonial days, women were relegated at the back there. If parents have got a little bit of money, they would concentrate sending their men to school. And the government of independence from 1980 made deliberate policies to make sure that we promote girls, they go to school. And when we talk of women in this country, they are very educated. We are talking of women with the education to take up the country to the levels where we want. So we don't want to move with a few women. We want to make sure that education trickles down to everybody. So the issue of schools, to make sure that accessibility is there. We don't want our girl children or our boy children to walk more than 5 kilometers to go to school. So these are issues which the government together, we are always focusing on that, and our eyeball is on women, because that's our mandate within this ministry. So issues of education and also issues of making sure that they have the digital skills. Disruptive technologies have come. If we don't educate our girl child, our women who are in business, whether they're SMEs, whether they're informal sector, it means we are discriminating them from doing business. Most businesses are now being done online. COVID-19 taught us that the markets were closed, shops were closed. Those who survived are the ones who had the skills to continue doing their business online. So we are saying those are the issues we need to look at. So I think I've given you quite more than 5. I hope I answered you. Anna Chibam, a very interesting question. And I must tell you, gender-based violence is an evil across all gender. It will not be allowed because it's women perpetrating it on men. No. It's a crime. Gender-based violence is a crime. And within this ministry, we have not left our men. In fact, we are upscaling our male engagement sessions because we want to move with our men. What we are saying is a family which brings up children in a volatile place where there is violence, the children will grow up to be violent too. And they cannot be empowered. If we want to move this country to the levels where we want, if we want to reach Vision 2030, we need to make sure that we eliminate violence within families. I've just come back from Rwanda, and there's one thing which we learned. This was on a study visit. one thing which we need to learn as Zimbabweans, when we talk about violence-free homes, when we talk about violence-free, creating space for our women, whether it's at the markets, whether it is at the courts, it is important to have harmony. It doesn't bring discord. When the communities are not living well, you can't prosper. We saw communities in Rwanda where men have taken it upon themselves to move from families to families, talking to couples about the benefits of a violence-free home. So we want to move with our men. In this ministry, I've already entertained the Padari. I'm sure you know that grouping. And we have talked and we've heard these issues. And we want to make men out there to understand that violence is violence. Don't sit and hold it, because, as you rightly say, men have got also rights. They need to be protected. When we talk about removing gender-based violence, we are not saying it should then be removed from women being victims and then moving it to men being victims. No, we are talking about removing violence. This is why, as a ministry, we launched the national strategy on preventing gender-based violence in this country. It will take us far. I want to thank you for the question.